Guys, the average consumer has 90 different accounts. Do you have 90 unique passwords? Probably not, which leaves the average consumer susceptible to identity theft and fraud. That's why I'm excited to partner with our show sponsor, Aura. Aura offers identity theft protection and insurance, fraud monitoring, a VPN, password management, and antivirus software all in one easy-to-use app. They monitor the dark web for your emails, passwords, and social security numbers, and connect your credit card and bank accounts to get notified of any changes 4 times faster than Aura's competitors. Their VPN keeps your browsing history and personal information safe and encrypted, and their antivirus software blocks malware and viruses before they infect your devices. All plans come with $1 million in identity theft insurance. Try Aura free for 2 weeks and see if your personal information has leaked into the dark web. Join the over 1 million people that trust Aura to protect their digital security. Start your free trial at aura.com/Chael or just click on the link below. Colby and Masvidal coming right up. Is this going to be the biggest fight of the year? It will be thus far in the year, and the single greatest storyline in heavyweight history has been contested this year. So it's going to be a good-sized fight. Really hard to answer my question, though, isn't it? Because what other fights are there going to be? Is Conor McGregor coming back? I get it. I don't know either. But I do know it's going to be a big fight. I also know that it's very special. We got the 5 W's. Who, what, when, why, and where. One that's tough for me right now. What are they fighting for? That's a tough one for me. I got to have that answer. It's my job. I get that answer. I interpret it differently. It may be better than most other people, and then I bring it to you. But what are they fighting for? That I do have that stuck. I know why they're fighting. And why they're fighting is such a massive answer that that's what's going to fill up the arena. Why they are fighting has more purpose on it that we can relate. Personal grudge? We all know about personal grudges. The entire Jake Paul experience is based on, we understand it. This is a guy with a dream. We get it. Doesn't have to be for championships. Don't have to have a beautiful resume. We get the why. We can relate. Can we relate to fighting for world championships? No. Can we relate to fighting for millions of dollars? No. Can we relate to fighting in front of the world with having major media outlets there? No. Can we relate to fighting a guy who's pissed you off? Who has wronged you? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we get that. And this fight is going to be huge. I still want to know what it's for. I did my level best to get the 2 of you to come along the journey with me and demand that the BMF belt be put up. I thought we had opportunity when I found out this was going to be the main event of a pay-per-view. Main events of pay-per-view do not have to be title fights, but they usually are. That's true. A couple of the greatest main event pay-per-views in the last 15 months were not for titles. It was Conor versus Poirier, and then it was Conor versus Poirier. I mean, right? It's a big deal. No belts up. But one guy has a belt. Masvidal has the belt. Oh, and by the way, he earned it. East Coast gangster versus West Coast gangster. East Coast came out on top. He is the BMF. He is the baddest dude. He's got to put the belt up. But I'm the only... No, you guys didn't back me on this. Nobody has backed me on this. I've got no support. Okay, but now that we found out that I didn't get my way, it still leaves me with the same question. What are they fighting for? And you can have really big matches. They're generally a number 1 contenders match, if not a title match. And if I was to even go back to the Conor Poirier, you saw what that did for the winner of that in Poirier. The loser, who's Conor, is still in discussions for getting the same opportunity of fighting for a world championship. Really big fights, but we know what it was for. Plus the personal, plus the personalities, everything else that went into it. What are these guys fighting for? It's our job to guess, but it's not our job to determine that. We get told. It was just in this case, we haven't been told yet, and it's still going to be a mega fight. There is no mega fight in history that doesn't answer that question ahead of time. This is going to be very unique. I'm still left at the same question. It's not for a number 1 contendership. Now, I know what drives them. I know what drives Colby Covington. I've known him since he was a little boy. I know what driving George Masvidal. He's been very open to tell us. He will do anything through anybody as long as it gets him closer to that childhood dream of being the world champion. They believe this is a number one contenders match. They believe this is the one that they need to do, but it's not. They just happen to be wrong. I don't want to be the one to tell them. Normally it would be. We're not in a normal time. 170 pounds is very wild right now. The champion has a fight signed, and after signing the fight, went and had surgery on his hand and can't even train. He's going to make that date with Leon. Make no mistake. The champ will be there. Probably International Fight Week, but he'll be there. Then you got this Chimaev that's won the world's captivation over. You got some kid out of Kazakhstan who's 15-0, all 15 finishes, 2 of them in the UFC, 8 by knockout, 7 by submission. I'd provide his name for you. I think I proved I did my due diligence as an analyst in the sport. I just told you everything about the son of a bitch. The fact that I don't know his name isn't my fault. It's his. I do a show every day. I come to you guys every day. That includes Christmas. Him and his team have not contacted me once. This is his fault. The point is, there's a lot of fresh blood at 170 pounds. Then you got Burns, who's everybody's favorite fighter. You got Vincent Luque, who did everything right, including show up to MSG, willing to do it on a day's notice, not to mention he's won 7 impressive in a row. I mean, right, 170, it's a jammed up. What are you going to do? I fully believe that whoever wins here between Masvidal and Colby needs to use that time well. And going after Kamaru isn't well. 1, he's hurt. 2, he's busy. And 3, and far more importantly is 3, to go to a trilogy fight when the first fights did not split, did not vary in outcome, is very, very unlikely to happen. I believe all roads at 170 go through Khamzat Chimaev. That's what I believe. I believe one guy is being groomed, spoon-fed, and looked after because of the belief of what his potential is. That's the guy you got to stop. And the 70-pounders know what I just said is true, and they know they have to stop him. You want to get back to the belt, and you're going to do whatever it takes, you're going to have to stop him. If you make that somebody else's idea, you look weak. If you make it your idea, you make yourself look powerful. It's a fight both guys can get. It's a fight both George and Colby. I don't know who's winning that fight. That's between them, but whoever comes out of it, I know what the fight is for. The fight is for getting you one step closer to the championship. You want to be guaranteed that you get to that championship? The coveted, unlikely third matchup with a guy that you did not split 2 with, it goes through Chimaev. So if you're going to have to fight him anyway, make it your idea to fight him. That's my advice. That's also the way to a championship match. Everyone's going to make that deal. They're going to have to. They're going to make the deal thinking they're never going to have to pay up. But the people you're doing business with are men of honor. And if you get them to say it, they'll pay up. And I think that's enough of a what are they fighting for. They're not going to agree with me. They think this is the one. Perhaps it could have been the one if a negotiation of getting the BMF belt put up happened, but it didn't. Stopping Chimaev will do it. Consider. Get through the foe in front of you. Task at hand first. You can look weak and forced to face Chimaev by appearance reasons, or you can make it your idea, get the fight, show your power to do the same job.